Hey everyone, and thanks for joining me. This yoga session is going to be a lot of focus on spinal movement. So, really just moving in all those ways that we can move the spine. We have, well, with all of our joints, mobility is always delightful. If we're feeling open and loose through the body, it's a nice feeling. But particularly, we're going to target the spine today. So let's start in a child's pose. Wide-legged, so take the knees nice and wide, big toes together, hips can reach back towards the feet. If the knees aren't particularly happy here, you can always put some cushions underneath the backs of the knees, so a bolster, folded blankets, some cushions, some pillows, whatever it is that you need. Otherwise, we're just in our child's pose. Melt the upper body forward. So as we melt forward, the hips might lift, and that's okay for a little higher. We're going to send the hips back towards the feet. Forehead can rest on the floor or maybe up on a block if you need a little bit more space. And just connect to your breath. So breathing in through the nose. Feeling the ribs, the belly expand. And we breathe out through the nose, melting down. So as we focus on that breath, we may already be feeling some connection to our spine. As we breathe in, we find that length and that expansion. And as we breathe out, we soften down. So very micro movements here with our breath. And on our next breath, we're going to come up onto our hands. So legs are going to stay as they are. We're either on hands, on fingertips, hands on blocks. All the options are there. So thinking about our spine from our tailbone, we're going to round back, mid back, upper back rounds away, tucking the chin. From our tailbone or pelvis, we reach forward, mid belly, upper back, and rolling. So as much movement as we can from the base of the spine to the base of the skull. Really trying to allow that movement to be nice and fluid. Obviously, if there's tight, sticky spots, we're just starting to move. Feel free to explore them. At any point it feels good to close down your eyes, we can close the eyes. Few more rounds here. So the pelvis is sort of the instigator of the movement. And just tuning into how we can move the spine. Okay. Come back to neutral. Bring the knees together, heels under the bum. Nice and strong through the abdominals. We're drawing up and in, and we're tall through the spine. So really reaching through the crown of the head. Hands are down by our sides. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe they don't, depending on your proportions. We're going to breathe in, both hands up, really reach tall, not lifting off the seat, but if we were going to, really, really tall, and then drop the right hand down to the side, left arm reaches up and over. Keeping the chest open, so that shoulder pulls back slightly, gaze anywhere that's comfortable. So we're opening through those side ribs and getting some lateral movement into the spine. We come all the way up, reach nice and tall, 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 over to the left. Face is soft, And be with your breath. This time we reach up nice and tall through the crown of the head. We come over to the right and we're going to stay here. Left arm is going to reach forward somewhere in front of us on that angle. Maybe we touch the floor, maybe we don't. And then we're opening back behind us to a point that works for us. So it's a movement, a little bit of flossing here. We reach forward and back. Now, if we're comfortable to stay in this seat, we can. If we need to change to a cross-legged position, that's okay as well. So the movement matches the breath. Couple more. And they don't have to be exactly the same. We can explore that movement. So as I said, the intention of this practice is spinal mobility, spinal awareness. Okay, let's come all the way up. A little shake of the shoulders. Maybe that shoulder's feeling a little warm already. Notice the difference between the sides, or notice one side. Notice the other without comparing them. Okay, we reach those hands up and over to the left. We find that space, and when you're ready, we start that flossing movement. So reaching forward and opening. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Last one, we reach up and we come all the way up. Again, little wriggle, little moment, connecting with the belly. Notice the breath. We breathe forward to the sides and back. All right, let's come forward onto our hands and knees. Setting up for our tabletop position. Spread the fingers, connect with the deep abdominals, and we're flowing through our cat-cows here. So rounding the spine to the sky, dropping the belly down to the floor. Again, as we did in that seated position, as fluid and as exploratory as you like. Breath is guiding the movement. We are tuning in to how the body is moving. All right, when that feels complete, we come back to neutral. Left hand under the face, so it comes more center, just to have that little bit more support here. Spread the fingers and press down. We don't want to drop into that shoulder. Keep nice and lifted and strong. The right hand is going to open, rotate to the sky. Fingers follow the thumb. Gaze follows the thumb. So we're reaching up, opening, rotation through the spine, and we're going to sweep under as low as we can go so that we can still open up. So we're sweeping under and opening. Bit of spinal rotation, connection to our deep abdominals. Last one, we're going to meet at the top. Reaching tall, shoulders, shoulder blades are working. Belly is active. And then this time as we come down, we come all the way down into our threading the needle. Keep the hips nice and high. Arm sweeps under. We're down on the right ear, right side of the face. And that top hand can either be soft or up above the head, reaching past that left ear. Breathe here. Right, top hand presses into the floor. We lift up and out. We come back to that tabletop position. Few cat-cows, or we can shift the hips from side to side just to center, realign through that spine. And then the right hand comes center, left hand reaches up, we open, we feel that expansion through the chest, and we're going to sweep under and open, under and open. Moving at your own pace. This is your movement practice, so remembering that we're going to listen to our own bodies and just explore that movement. All the sensations that happen as we change position. Next time we're going to meet with those arms open. Squeeze the upper body, the shoulder blades together. Connection to those deep abdominals. And we drop all the way down to our thread in the needle. So that left hand sweeps under, we're down on the left ear. Oof. And top arm placement of your choice. Soft in front. If you want a little bit more stretch through the side body, you can always take that arm up and over. Just feel those points that we have of contact with the floor. Allow your body to be heavy. Okay, top hand presses up and out. Again, a little bit of movement. We can do circles here, some circles, belly guides the way. Let's go both directions. Wonderful. Back to neutral, and then we're going to come all the way up to standing. Up to standing. Okay. Little pedal through the legs, little shake out of the body. Okay. We plant the feet, the weight is even. We spread the toes, connect in with that foundation, that connection to the floor. Channel or follow the energy up through the body, so the knees are a little soft, inner thighs are active, belly's active. Lengthen through the tailbone. Tall through the spine. Just notice if we're feeling a little bit more open. There's more space through the body. We have that connection there. Okay. And then we're going to sweep the hands up. Keep the shoulders relatively low, but find that length. Hands come together and we're going to fold all the way forward. Bend the knees as we fold forward. So let it be a very gentle bend. Folding forward here. The hands can rest on the floor, maybe on blocks, but you can bend your knees as much as you need. Fire up the inner thighs, feel down into the soles of the feet, and melt the upper body down. Breathing in and out. Okay, let's peel up to a halfway lift. If the space is there in the body, so we're straightening the legs, straightening the back. Maybe the fingers stay to the floor. Maybe we find the shins. Shoulders pull back. There's length through the whole spine. So we're reaching through the tailbone, in one direction, through the crown of the head in the other, feeling that openness through the back of the legs. We melt all the way down. You can bend into your knees for sure. From our forward fold, the left hand's going to come center. Feel into the belly. We're twisting, rotating that right hand up to the sky. If there's space through the body, that right leg may want to straighten, and that's okay. We come all the way down, allow the body to be heavy here. Soften the belly down towards the tops of the thighs. I can straighten my legs here, but I find it so comforting and nice to really bend through the knees and just allow that upper body, the chest, the ribs to hang out on the tops of the thighs. So it's not necessarily about looking deep in the pose. We're feeling into the shapes that we're creating with our bodies and how it all feels. Okay, right hand center, that left hand, we find that rotation rolls up to the sky. Maybe the left leg straightens, but it doesn't need to. You can definitely do this with both legs bent. And let's melt back down into our forward fold. Hanging out here for a little minute more. We're going to, you can keep the hands either down or cross at the elbows and just play around with a bit of a sway. So just a little rock from side to side. Keep that breath flowing in through the nose and out through the nose. So we're moving very gently. It's a wonderful release, hopefully, for your lower back. Let the head be heavy and just really flow with that movement. Can you notice that shift in weight? Maybe it's just very slight from the left foot to the right foot. And slowly we come back to center. Release the arms. We'll find one more halfway lift, adjusting if needed. So straightening through the back leg, straightening through the spine. Hands can come to the shins as high as you need. Maybe keep a very soft bend through the knees. Lengthen through the spine so shoulders can pull back. Gaze is down to the ground, but your eyes can be closed if you like. Breathe here. Feel that space we're creating in the body. All right, let's melt all the way down. We're going to step back to our tabletop position. Little sway from side to side. Okay, let's come up and find a lunge with the right leg in front. So no fancy flows here. We're just moving through our shapes and our practices. So making our way to this lunge position. Hips can shift forward, but again, let's feel that connection to the inner thighs and that length through the spine. So we're not necessarily pushing to dump into the back. Find length through the spine and that connection there. Breathing here, those arms can sweep up to the sky, really lengthen and open. If there's wobbles or you're a little unbalanced, that's okay. Breathing in and out. And then we can bring those hands forward and straighten that front leg. So we're lengthening through the spine and through the back of that front extended leg. Breathing here. And we're going to do some spinal movement in this shape. So lifting the gaze, the chest, and then melting down. Seeing if we can allow it to be nice and fluid, similar to our cat-cows, but with some restrictions, obviously, because of the shape of the rest of our body. So just seeing how we move and what movement we have here today. But of course, if stillness is what calls to you, find the position which you wish to hold. and just connecting with your breath. Okay, last one. We melt down, shift back into that lunge, connect with the belly. We reach taller with our spine, with our arms. Breathing here, we're going to find a little twist. So there is options here. Really tune into the belly first, into the inner thighs. We're rotating to the right. Options is that left hand can come, maybe this is enough. This is rotation. This is some activity for the spine, for our bellies, for our upper back. Option to bring that left arm, that elbow to the outer edge of that knee. We can push here, get a little bit more deeper into it. Option to bring those hands together in that prayer position, and we have that resistance between the palms of the hands to, again, maybe express a little more into the shape. But it's more how we're feeling, so you choose where you need to be. We look back over that shoulder and that balance. My legs are a little wobbly, so it's okay if we're feeling those wobbles. We breathe here and hold. Okay, to come out, we unravel, hands back to the sky. Hands come down. We step that leg back to meet the left. Little shimmy of the hips, cat-cows, whatever you need. You can even come down for a moment off the wrists. Open and close the palms. When you're ready, we make our way to the other side. So it's the left foot is in front. We can shift, not necessarily the tops of the hips are not guiding. The back, that tailbone is pressing forward. We find that press forward, connection to the inner thighs. Lengthen through the spine. Notice how the hips are and if we're even between that left side and the right side. Breathing here, maybe those hands come up, maybe we need them down on the floor or on our legs for balance, but that's okay. Lengthening through the spine, find that gaze point and just notice that strength through the body. It's a simple posture, but it requires so much energy. Just notice that strength. And we're going to come down, bring the hands down. We fold the upper body forward and lengthen through that leg in front. Okay, so let's explore some spinal movement. We're rounding the spine to the sky and belly drops down. Small movement, may not look or feel like too much, but just seeing what's there. Now let's melt down, soften through the body. We transition back to that lunge. Maybe there's a little bit more space there. Bring those hands up. Strong bellies. Find that twist to the left. Arms are open to begin. This is very strong. Maybe we reach forward a little, hook that right elbow to the outer edge of the left knee. Maybe we bring those palms together. So we're pressing the palms together. We're having that resistance. The knee is pressing into the elbow is pressing into the knee. Big opening, lots of strength. Release the twist. Reach the hands to the sky. Hands come down and we step back. And come all the way down onto our backs. Winding down now. Hug the knees into the chest. Just a little rock from side to side. So find a little moment to release anything through the back. Give yourself a little gentle back massage, back of the head massage if the head rocks with you. And that's fine, some stillness. Release the feet to the floor, mat distance apart. Hands can rest on the belly or to the sides, maybe even up above the head. Connect into your breath. Now find a little bit of movement. It's just a gentle leg rock, knee rock. Legs come over to one side and up and over to the other side. As slow and steady as you need. You can add in some head movement as well, maybe moving with your knees so they both go gaze and the knees go to the left and over to the right, or legs to the right, gaze to the left, so opposites. I like opposites, but it is your practice, so you move how you need to here. When the knees are next to the right, let them rest there. We'll set up for a very gentle spinal twist. So if the gaze is not already to the left, maybe play around with setting that up. So knees are to the right and the gaze is to the left. Eyes can be closed if you're comfortable to do so. And just gently breathing here. Finishing off with a very gentle twist through the spine, through the body. Gaze comes up, legs come up. We switch directions. So legs over to the left, gaze over to the right. Of course, if there's discomfort through the neck, please feel free to be where you need to be in that regard. Otherwise, we're just setting up for our twist. All the way back up to center. We're going to make our way into our Shavasana. So if you need any movement, maybe one more hug of the knees to the chest. Maybe tuck those shoulders under. Find the arm placement of your choice. Let go of any effort on your breath. And just take a moment to notice the left side of the body. Softening here. Noticing sensations from the toes all the way up to the head. So notice the right side of the body. Softening into any sensations that may be there. Letting go of any effort through the whole body. And the body gets heavy. Allow yourself to release here as much as you can. When we're ready to come out, please begin to deepen the breath. Bring awareness back into the body. A little scan from the feet all the way up through the body to the crown of the head. And we can begin to invite some movement. Maybe big stretch, ankles together, arms above the head, reaching in opposite directions, lengthening through the body. Very, very active, and then maybe hugging the knees into the chest. Whatever it is that you need to come back or wake your body up. Bring your awareness back into the body. We roll to our sides. A little pause here. Checking in with the body. Giving thanks to the practice. Giving thanks to yourself for showing up. And if there's anything else that you would like to show some gratitude for, you can do that now. We come all the way up to finish to that comfortable seat. A little wriggle through the body. And thank you all for joining in. I hope that you're feeling a little looser through the spine. We have that connection with our body and our abdominals after our practice. Thank you guys so much for joining in. I do love to hear from you. So if you enjoyed and you're feeling good, please share that with me in the comment section. There's plenty of other videos to check out on my channel, so please feel free to do so, and like anything that you've enjoyed. And as always, you can subscribe to the channel. It's very appreciated. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.